All right, Ninja Nation, you ready for this? We are ready for Secret 2. Knowing how to nurture the leads. We generated them under Secret 1. We have an endless pipeline thanks to our own the block strategy. We're building our flywheel. It is now time to know what to do with all those leads on a continual basis. Welcome to Secret 2, Lead Nurture. Friend, everything you think you know about follow-up is about to change, because when you fully understand and implement, and eventually you'll perfect Secret 2, your business is going to change forever. Now, to start with, I need you to understand this. 3%, literally 3% of your marketplace that you're calling on right now is problem aware and solution seeking. Do you want to know why you face so many objections when you're in the field and you got to go through a lot of no's to find the yes and all the other well-meaning but stupid advice that you've been given over the years? It's because of this right here. It's because 97% of your market is not problem aware, or maybe they're problem aware, but they're not solution seeking. And when that happens and you come in there guns a-blazing with all your product and your features and your advantages and your benefits, the only thing they can do is object. And then you've been sitting in trainings teaching you how to overcome objections. What I want you to understand in Secret 2 is we're virtually going to eliminate objections from most of our sales process. Not eliminate, but greatly reduce them, because of what I'm going to teach you in Secret 2, Secret 3, and Secret 4. Check this out. That means that 97% of your leads need to be nurtured, not pestured. Highlight that, circle, underline that. 97% of your leads need to be nurtured, not pestured, if you want them to desire doing business with you. Now think about this. If you nurture them to the point of them desiring to do business with you, it is reasonable to assume that when you desire to do the next thing, you're not going to object to the next thing. The only time you object to a thing is when you don't desire the next thing. Boy, look at me getting all fired up. Because when you get this, when you truly get this, it changes your life. The old school approach of incessantly following up and overcoming objections and pretending, my favorite one is, no doesn't mean no. No means not now. No, sometimes no means freaking no. No doesn't mean no is a waste of time for both you and your prospects. Persistence is not about pestering. It's about preparation. It's a lot of P's. All right. Persistence isn't about pestering. It's about preparation. So how do you prepare them to desire to schedule a meeting with you? Secret 2 is going to teach you a better way. Using the law of familiarity, I'm going to help you learn how to nurture leads so that they do 3 things. Number 1, they need to know who you are. Number 2, you're going to make them familiar with who you serve, your avatar. And number 3, you're going to make them familiar with what you do. The way I like to say this is the outcome that you provide. So check it out. Through the nurture process, if they become familiar with who you are, who you serve, and what you do, there's a strong likelihood that that process is going to attract the right ones that are like, oh my gosh, I am very interested in who you serve, and I am very interested in the outcome you provide to your avatar. We should talk. I'm going to pick up the phone next time you call. I'm going to come out of the lobby and shake your hand next time you're here. I'm going to respond to the next email you send because I am familiar with who you are, who you serve, and what you do. The other thing this will do for you is it will repel the wrong. If they're not at all your avatar, or they're not interested in the outcome that you provide, they're going to die, buy, or unsubscribe. Man, this is good. So by the time the decision maker meets with you, they're already primed to say yes, but it's on their terms, not your terms. So what you're going to learn in this section is the difference between nurturing leads and following up with prospects, and why the vast majority of insurance agents do this completely wrong. Number 2, you're going to learn about the DBU methodology, the DBU mindset, that die, buy, and unsubscribe that creates clarity and focus for you and your prospects in your pipeline. Number 3, you're going to learn all about the role of the Law of Familiarity Nurture, LOF nurture process in preparing leads to want to schedule a meeting with you. Number 4, you're going to learn how to segment your cold, your warm, and your hot leads. And then you're going to learn how to customize your approach to each, the cold, the warm, and the hot, so that you get the highest conversion numbers possible. Number 5, you're going to learn why nurturing with intention leads to better qualified prospects and higher close rates. Much of the little tangent I just went on there a moment ago. So what is the difference between nurture and follow-up? page 20 of your workbook. Let's start with some definitions. Quite literally, the definition of nurture as a noun is the process of caring for and encouraging the growth or development of that thing. Nurture is the process of caring for and encouraging the growth or development of that thing. Now watch the literal Webster's definition difference in follow-up. Follow-up is also a noun, but it is a continuation or repetition of something that has already been started. So let's get very clear on the difference. Nurture, leads are nurtured, prospects are followed up with. Nurture happens before the decision maker handshake, secret 3. Follow-up happens after the decision maker handshake. Nurture is a marketing process, establishing the law of familiarity. Follow-up, friend, it's a sales process. It is the continuation of the buying decision. Remember our definitions above. Nurture builds familiarity and helps create desire for the outcome you provide. Follow-up simply drives a buying decision. Most agents don't appreciate or understand the difference or the distinction, which is why they burn out chasing cold leads, spinning their wheels with aimless follow-ups, and can't figure out why people ghost them. When you truly understand the difference between establishing the law of familiarity, a marketing mindset, nurture, with a follow-up process, sales, your conversion rates are going to go through the roof. So let's take a look at how we develop that marketing mindset. We borrowed the DBU. This is something that's been running in the digital marketing circles for a long time. It's called die, buy, or unsubscribe. Straight out of the digital marketing playbook. The DBU mindset is all about optimizing your pipeline for clarity and efficiency. In the insurance world, it is the difference between constantly teetering between the boom and bust cycles that I talked about earlier. Instead, you get to operate with such abundance that you have the power to walk away from bad prospects. DBU ensures that every lead in your pipeline moves forward to one of 3 different outcomes, okay? Number 1, they will die. Leads die that do not fit your avatar profile and have no desire for the outcome that you provide. If you're in my LOF nurture and I'm making you familiar with who I am, who I serve, and what I do, who I am, who I serve, avatar, what I do, outcome I provide, and you do not have no interest in that, you're going to end up dying out of my nurture system. The second outcome that could happen is they will buy. Now, what does that mean? It means they convert into a prospect by saying, yes, I will schedule a meeting to meet with you and hear about how you might be able to help my business XYZ, outcome you provide. Secret 4, convert into prospects by saying yes and scheduling a meeting. We'll get into that in secret 4. The third outcome could be they simply unsubscribe. Now, this is leads that literally self-select out of your pipeline for really any reason. They could not be your avatar. They may not have desire. They may not have budget. They may not have the right time. So a lot of different reasons they could unsubscribe. And if you're like what we do, we have a literal CRM that has some workflows and automations and just helps the human being, the broker, the agent, be far more efficient than they could be on their own. They might literally click the unsubscribe button. That would be an example of unsubscribe. All right, without DBU, without the die, buy, unsubscribe, your pipeline just becomes a graveyard of wasted effort. And all of us, myself included, have been there, done that, and it sucks. But when you put this DBU mindset in place, the action you take has a purpose, ensuring your time is spent on the leads that ultimately matter, which hopefully now you're like, oh my gosh, I can see why if I stop wasting time on bad leads and nurture my good ones, objections get easier, close rates go higher. Now I'm starting to understand those ratios he talked about a minute ago. Holy cow. I can see that if I do what Harlow is teaching me to do, if I adapt to this sales ninja way, I can go 250 leads to $160,000 in income, crack my neck, get out of my way, let's go. Why DBU leads to a healthier pipeline? When every lead is moving towards a buy or towards an exit, your pipeline becomes efficient, focused, and scalable. You're no longer wasting time on dead leads. You're nurturing leads that align with your avatar, and you're scaling, or you could scale, with a true marketing-based CRM, and nurturing that can grow a pipeline much larger than your competitors that rely on smile and dial, talk to more people, and just don't quit. So we're going to let those guys that get that training. You're here investing in your time into your skill set. So let's keep going with the types of leads and DBU. Now that you understand DBU, it is critical to recognize that not all leads are created equal. There are 3 distinct types of leads that we touched on earlier, and you're going to need to understand them so that you can tailor or customize your Law of Familiarity approach to each one of them. All right, first one, there are cold leads. Now, who are cold leads? It's very simple, right in the blank. They don't know you, and you don't know them. That makes them cold, by definition. You don't know them, and they don't know you. Now, most agents, they hate cold lead gen. They shy away from it because it takes a lot of time, and if we're really honest, most of us just hate the rejection that comes associated with it. But here is the truth. We've been rejected and we hate it because we suck at it, because we have been doing it as a hustle and grind, just get through more of it, talk to more people. Like that is such a horrible way to approach the market. You do what I'm teaching you right here, man. Mastering cold lead gen is one of the most liberating skills that you can develop and will allow you to write any check you want to write that it will cash. Done correctly, cold prospecting will become the foundation of your insurance flywheel. It will help that flywheel spin so fast under its own weight. With a true marketing CRM, you can even take that thing and automate most of the cold process, and then that flywheel just spins, baby. Thanks to technology and automation. You got a machine that operates 24/7. You'll learn more about a marketing CRM called ProfitRocket.com. Oh, it's so cool. This machine will allow you to tirelessly convert cold leads into warm ones, laying the groundwork for a scalable, predictable business. Warm leads, the second type. Warm leads are ones that are familiar with you, but maybe they haven't converted into a paying client yet, or they were familiar with the outcome you used to provide, which for most of you was cramming a product down their throat and how much the product did or did not cost. You were cramming features, advantages, and benefits and why you should take my product right now because the last time you looked at it, we made all these great changes, and you've been selling so wrong for so long that when you start selling the way I'm going to teach you with need and value through Secrets 3 and 4, it's going to completely change the outcome you provide, even if you don't change your business card, even if you don't change your logo, even if you don't go do what so many agents are doing today and they think, well, I can't just be selling one product or one carrier. I need to go get appointed with everyone, and now that I can help more people with more stuff, more people will buy from me. That is not true. Flat out not true. You need to get extremely good at learning how to do one thing well and then add and then add and then add. That's one of the magics that we help people with over at BenDoc, is we help them get really good at one thing and then expand. Warm leads are often overlooked gold mines inside of your pipeline. These are decision makers that you've crossed paths with at some point but never converted back. This is where I want you to think back to every DM that you've ran in the past 12 months and didn't close them. Every networking, every business card, every social media connection, everything you've done that you didn't move forward or advance forward, think through and I bet you weren't nurturing them. I bet they're not familiar with who you are, who you serve, and the new outcome you're learning to provide. I want you to think about every lost account that you lost to another competitor, to another broker, to another carrier. Those are beautiful places to build your warm list from because they're more likely to engage with you. With the right LOF journey, you can rekindle the interest and reestablish trust, moving them closer to becoming a client of yours. Hot! Third type of leads that you need to be aware of is hot. These are easy. You have an existing relationship. Now, maybe they're a paying client, maybe they're not, but you have an existing relationship. Here's how I would think about it. You call, they answer. You text, they respond. Hot leads are decision makers who know you and trust you, first name basis, texting relationship. You have a solid professional rapport, but this is interesting. Trust alone is not enough. Trust alone is not enough. And why? I want you to write this down, circle this, highlight this, underline this, because trust without clarity leads to hesitation. Trust without clarity leads to hesitation. The number one enemy of sales. Here's another thing that you've been told incorrectly. Most people say time is the number one enemy to sales. It's not true. The number one enemy to sales is confusion. And do you know who's ultimately responsible for inserting confusion into the sales process? You and me. We're the ones that confuse the heck out of our prospects. They don't understand the ultimate value proposition. They don't understand ultimately why they should agree to move forward. They're not bold enough as that old man was I shared with you back on the very first video, that he just looked at me and said, son, I don't see any value. There is no need at all for me to offer this to my employees. That man changed my life. He didn't have a need or a value because he was confused as to the outcome I could help provide. Hot leads simply need to understand the updated outcome that you provide and how your solution specifically solves one of their pain points. Now, here's the problem with their pain points. We said earlier that only 3% of the marketplace is problem aware and solution seeking. It's why those of you that have been through sales training where you have to ask them a whole bunch of questions to uncover their pain points, stupidest training you've sat through. Talk about an enormous burden of you supposedly learning how to diagnose people's pain and all the crap I'm going to set you free of all that garbage. Because when you learn how to sell from a place of need and value, man, sales just becomes so much easier. So buckle up as we go through these 8 secrets. That's why I said you got to study them. All right, through the power of YouTube editing, you'll notice that I made a little mistake and forgot to finish out right there, page 22, bottom half of your workbook. Here's the thing, Hot has an existing relationship with you, and this is really important. If you get them familiar with the outcome that you provide, they're gonna be more honest with you almost immediately if your outcome addresses their current situation, like because of that relationship. But again, clarity. All right. Right now, you might be helping clients solve a specific part of their puzzle, whether it's protecting paychecks, filling in the gaps, or offering a full benefits package, and that's an amazing start. But think about also that over time, the better you get at what I'm teaching you right now, you will learn how to provide an entirely different outcome, as I said earlier, even though you may not necessarily add more products to your, or carriers or logos to your portfolio, but over time, as you master one, then you can begin to expand. So you can think about, last blank there, the outcome you could provide in the future. As you progress through these 8 secrets, you're going to discover how to increase your impact, deliver more value, and serve your clients in a way that will actually separate you from the crowd, not just putting more logos on your website. Hey, Ninja Nation, I hope that you love this content. You're going to practice it and put it to use in the field. It's going to make a huge impact for you and your business. If you appreciate the content and want to help me out, and we did a lot of work to put this stuff out there, especially for free. Do me a favor. I want you right now to click the little bell to get notified and click the little subscribe button somewhere on this screen and subscribe, and the little bell to get notified of when I post new videos and new content. That would mean the world to me. And then if you really want to show your appreciation, man, drop comments. Let me know what you're enjoying. Let me know what questions you have. Somebody on my team will be looking at this stuff. I look at a lot of the comments from time to time. We do the best we can to serve at the highest level we possibly can. And then, of course, when you're ready, I want you on the Sales Ninja Insiders. It is where the community is at. Let's get back to the training. All right. I've got a fun little exercise for us to do on pages 23 and 24 of your workbook. You'll notice that they're laid out in such a way when you open your workbook side by side. Let me show you exactly what you're seeing. If you've got the printed workbook that you can get from freeninjatraining.com and have me ship you this thing, it's not too late. Please go grab it. There it is, right? The entire pipeline outlined together. And here's what I want you to do. On the far left-hand side, you'll see that it says secret 1 is lead generation. Then you're going to take those leads and you're going to have to nurture them. So what's the path we would nurture them on? And we're doing all that work with lead generation and lead nurture to get us to secret 3, the handshake. So left-hand side, secret 1, the big bubbles there. I've left several blanks for you to fill in. What are some examples of cold lead gen? By the way, I would love it from time to time if you would drop comments in the YouTube comment section here about what you're enjoying or what questions you might have about some of these videos. My team looks at every single comment you guys post. We try to reply to all of them that we possibly can. And also, if I'm being honest, it just helps the YouTube algorithm out, lets people know that they're getting a lot of value from these videos, and it lets me know how to continue to create and refine this content to better serve you. All right, bubble number 1 there, I would jot down leads list. The leads list, right? That would be an example of cold lead gen. Cold calls would be an example of cold lead gen. Owning the block. Own the block. That is an example of cold lead gen. What is warm lead gen? Networking. Referrals. Referrals are warm, not hot. I'll show you why in a minute. Former clients would likely land into the warm category. Possibly hot, but for most of you, former clients that you lost would be warm. The 4th one there could be every previous DM meeting you've ran. They're familiar with at least you. just not necessarily who you serve or the outcome you provide. So that would put them into the warm. All right, hot. There's really two categories of hot: strong relationships and sexy referrals. Now you'll notice that the paths on Secret 2, the cold path, the warm path, and the hot path. Cold, by far, has the most twists and turns, the most emails, the most phone calls, the most steps. That's because they're going to take longer to nurture them, to make them familiar with who you are, who you serve, and the outcome you provide. Warm is a little shorter. Hot is almost a linear path. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now, here's what you need to understand about the path. I'm going to kind of break down for you and give you some time frames in your workbook that you can build out your path and begin to visually understand how all of that works. All right, so let's tackle the actual LOF nurture path now. Secret 2, under the cold. Let's start with the first thing I would put there under that little email icon. If your workbook happens to be one of the ones with stickers, slap the first sticker down that is a email icon. If it's already printed there for you, then it's very simple. Right underneath that, automated email number 1. So just email 1. And then the little phone next to it, phone call 1. And the little timer, wait 3 days. Then automated email 2, phone call 2, wait 5 days. Email 3, phone call 3, wait 1 day. And then for an advanced strategy, we love that little stamp looking thing there. Man, if you can send a cold card, I know you hate cold calls, so I'm sending you a cold card. We have some really cute, clever ways that you can set yourself apart and do things that nobody else does and get results nobody else gets. But drop a cold card in the mail, literally mail them your avatar letter, your testimonial letter, put something in an envelope, stamp it, mail it to them. Then wait about 5 days for them to get it, open it. That's when you're going to send email 4, phone call 4. And my guess is you're probably going to reference the card that you mailed them a week earlier. Wait 4 days, email 5, phone call 5. Basically, here's what you need to understand. Our process that we use inside of our team and our agency is our cold system is 15 steps that goes over a 7-week span. So 15 different ways that we make them familiar with who we are, who we serve, and the outcome we provide. We're persistent without pestering them, and I gave you the exact time frame and way that we would outline that. And then I've got some perks and some bonuses for you that we'll give you as well, especially for those of you in the Sales Ninja Insiders. We've got all kinds of tools and resources for you there as well. Warm, I recommend template email number 1, template phone call number 1, then a manual task reminder based on what you had to do to customize it for the warm audience or the warm recipient. And then hot is totally custom. Custom email 1, custom phone call 1, maybe even a custom text message 1. It's going to be based on the level of your relationship and how quickly you can get that meeting scheduled. So keep in mind why we're doing all 3 of these different paths is because it doesn't matter if it's cold, doesn't matter if it's warm, doesn't matter if it's hot. We're trying to get them nurtured to who we are, who we serve, and the outcome we provide so that we can get to Secret 3, which is where they finally answer one of our emails, pick up one of our phone calls, or come out to us and greet us in the lobby. At some point during the nurture sequence, they are going to take an action step. They're going to either die, buy, or unsubscribe, or they're going to come out, answer the phone call, greet you in the lobby, or respond to one of your emails. And when they do, your job is to know what to do at Secret 3, how to shake hands and deliver your phrase that pays so that they want to schedule a meeting with you instead of you having to overcome their objections. All right, there's 3 tips, page 27, that I want to give you on this cold, warm, and hot here. Cold, why do I love cold? Because it's near infinite scale, as technology can do so much of the heavy lifting for you. If you have a marketing CRM like ProfitRocket.com, you can pre-build and automate that entire sequence. You drop a lead in the front and it just goes through and gets nurtured. You can have pre-built phone scripts for all of your voicemails. You can have cold cards that you snail mail them. You can certainly do in-person approaches, and you're going to do automated emails, scripted, and I hate the word scripted because it's not really scripted, but a intentional voicemail you're going to leave, cold cards that you can send, avatar letters, testimonial letters, and the likes, and then in-person approaches. That sequence repeated over a series of weeks will establish familiarity with who you are, who you serve, and the outcome you provide. Warm. Big difference between warm here is it's still pre-built, but they're template-based emails. You might have a template for every networking contact. Hey, good to meet you at the networking event, right? Like, you can pre-build a lot of the emails. So all you got to do is change a couple of little bitty details, hit send. So really nice to have those pre-built and customized to each lead. phone voicemails, snail mail, and in-person approaches once again, all building the law of familiarity so that they'll get to secret 3. Hey, do you want to meet? Hot. You can also pre-build and template-base these, but just make sure that you understand that they have to be hyper-customized to the specific message you need to deliver, right? I find that some people's hots are going to need a little bit more nurture. Some people can just send a text message and say, man, you got to find out what I'm doing. I think we can help your employees XYZ. Let's talk. And they'll just take the meeting, right? So it just depends on the level of hot to determine how quickly you can move them through, but don't make this mistake. Do not rely on relationship alone. Remember, relationship and trust alone is not enough. If there is not clarity, then there is confusion, and if there's confusion, it will slow down or stop your sales process. You're also going to want to include some potential snail mail and certainly in-person approaches for your hot as well. All right, Zach, I'm so new. I'm not technology forward. I don't understand what you're talking about when you say marketing CRM. This is just not for me. Screw it. I'm out of here. Okay, maybe. Or you can do what we did for years. For years and years and years and years, we ran LOF Nurture as a completely manual system with that piece of paper that I am giving you for free. The pro is it's free. It's simple, and it works when you work it. It's that easy. It's free, it's simple, and it works when you work it. The cons, like really the only con, is that it takes time to stay organized and it's limited by your time. It does not have the same scale ability that using technology and automation does. It's impossible to scale this beyond a few dozen active leads just simply due to your time constraints. But until you have the ability or the means or the finances or the tech background to do a proper marketing CRM, man, this page right here, it made us a lot of money. We just had to do it manually. And it's exactly what I just outlined for you, but on a manual step-by-step basis that you just keep track of. All right, woo, that's a lot for LOF Nurture. You're probably gonna need to go back and watch this entire video 2, 3, 4, 5 times for you to fully embrace and understand it. Fill out the workbook. For those of you that have already joined the Sales Ninja Insiders, I am so excited to have you on the inside. This is the kind of stuff that we go in there every single month. I am inside the Insiders community, answering your questions, giving guidance. My war coaches come in, hang out there from time to time, and many of our more advanced students that have been in my programs for many years, some of our BinDoc crew even come in there and hang out from time to time. Make sure you get in the inside as soon as you can get into the Sales Ninja Insiders. You can learn all about it at freeninjatraining.com. See you at Secret 3.